Hello and welcome to this week's video about 5 transfer targets Aston Villa could sign this summer. And we're starting off with player number 1, Abdi Ezazuli. Abdi began his career at Hercules Academy in the second tier in Spain, before moving to their B team. After 22 appearances, he was called up to the first team. With his performance impressing so much, Barcelona B paid £1.7 million for his services. Within 2 months, he was making his debut for Barcelona's first team, becoming the first Moroccan-born player to feature for Barcelona. After very little games for Barcelona in September 2022, he was signed to his fellow Spanish La Liga side Osasuna on loan, playing 28 games for a side that ended the season in seventh place, qualifying for the Europa Conference League. After getting a taste of first-team football in the Spanish top flight, Ezazuli decided to leave Barcelona for Real Betis. For the last 3 years, he's developed into one of the best wingers outside the big three teams in La Liga. What makes Abdi Ezazuli so desirable is he offers something relatively rare in modern football. A winger who can beat defenders on his own. He is 24, so about to enter his peak years and is so unpredictable, direct, and he has great goals and assist numbers this season, 10 goals and 9 assists. Whilst having negatives, like he has only had one season of very good numbers and he can go missing in periods throughout the season, after having 3 years left on his contract to Real Betis, which means they will look to get a high fee. For Aston Villa, he would be a great winger who has a mix of pace and will be great in transition. And Villa looking for a new winger or chance to be a mix with McGinn, Buendia or to replace Bolingus. Abdi would be an excellent signing. Player 2, Oscar Mingueza. A La Masia graduate, Mingueza played 46 games for Barcelona before moving to Celta Vigo in July 2022 for roughly £2.8 million. Since joining, he has played in 34 more matches in each of the last 3 seasons in La Liga, being a consistent performer in a team who has spent back-to-back seasons qualifying for the Europa League. Now that his contract has expired and he's 27, he's entering the prime of his career, so he'll be looking for a move to a bigger club who can offer him more money and play at a higher level. Although like the majority of defenders, it isn't a very exciting signing, but he does offer a high floor but a low ceiling. He's available on a free transfer and will suit Miami's system very well. If he was to join Aston Villa, his versatility would mean that he could offer both competition for Matty Cash at right back and be another option at centre half. It could end up being a 7 out of 10 signing. Solid, versatile, useful, not the transformative upgrade that pushes Villa close to the Premier League's top four. Player 3, Zion Suzuki. Zion spent 11 years in the Uro Red Diamonds Academy in Japan, becoming the youngest player in the club's history to sign a professional contract. After spending 3.5 years at the club, he made a loan switch to Belgian side Sint-Truiden to be a backup, but became the starter and the loan was made permanent. But less than a year after he signed, he was on the move again, this time to a top 5 league with Parma in Italy for a fee of just over £7.1 million. In his first season in Italy, he played 37 out of 38 league games, keeping Parma in Serie A for the first season back in the top flight. His second season, he had a major hand injury, missing 126 days, but still playing over half the season in between the sticks, with his club winning 4 more games in the previous season, finishing 13th in the league. With Suzuki being 6'3" and a good distributor, you can see that he has a lot of potential, so if being a good investment in a younger keeper, he could be Aston Villa's goalkeeper for a decade plus. However, his save percentage was only 64%, so if he was to replace Emi Martinez straight away, the drop-off would be noticeable, which could knock his confidence. But the potential could be massive. Aston Villa having experienced backup keeper Marco Bizot to take over if he was struggling, it would be an exciting investment for the future. Player 4, that guy. The youngest potential signing on this list at 21 years old. I'm terrible at pronouncing names, so I'm just going to put his name on the screen. I'm going to call him Macau. He began his career playing for various Belgian Pro League clubs academies before making his debut for KV Mechelen in January of 2023. And after a great year and a half performing well at the club, he was bought by French League One club LOSC Lille for around £4.3 million. Macau has been a solid addition to their midfield, and with his young age, he has potential to get better. Although not contributing goals and assists, he is an athlete and he has helped set the intensity and pressing within the midfield. He's also good at progressing the ball, but struggles to create in the final third. As well, he's athletic, but isn't a freak athlete in the mould of players like Amadou Onana or Moises Caicedo. And it is an area will have lots of competition, and it's debatable that he will be ready to contribute at a club who want to be a Champions League regular. Player 5, Marcus Rashford. The most well-known player on this list, Marcus began his career by coming through the Manchester United Academy. He was given his debut by Louis van Gaal, scoring 2 goals against Midtjylland in the Europa League. Since then, he has stayed at Manchester United for a decade with mixed success, but after not suiting the manager's system, he was sent out on loan to Aston Villa in January 2025, being a positive influence to the squad, but due to not qualifying for the Champions League, Villa were short of cash, so were unable to sign him permanently. Pardon the joke. He spent last season on loan at Barcelona, recording 8 goals and creating 9 assists. If Villa were to sign Rashford, it would be a high-profile signing, showing that we are trying to establish ourselves as a Champions League club. With Marcus being in his physical prime and relying on his pace, it will be a short-term signing of a very exciting, versatile winger or striker. On the other hand, he will command very high wages as a player who has been very up and down throughout his career. If he was to join Aston Villa, it's hard to imagine where he would fit in with Villa possessing Ollie Watkins and Tammy Abraham as strikers. Then he's preferring to play wingers as tens. It's difficult to see a major need for him with other holes in the squad. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you can like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.